Here's 9 reasons I chose to live in Nha Trang instead of Da Nang. So Nha Trang is very underrated. What you hear most about this place is that it's just full of Russians. And while there are definitely a big majority of Russian population here, you don't see all of the good things about this place. You don't hear about how it's so cheap. You don't hear about how beautiful it is. I mean, if you've seen all this B-roll in this video, this is such an stunning place, and there's a lot to see here. There's all these different neighborhoods that you wouldn't think exist until you just explore 5 minutes out of the center. When I lived in Da Nang, the biggest issue that I had with it was, besides An Thuong and the My An area, or the My An area, was that everything outside of that just felt like Hai Chow. It's just consistently Hai Chow. And I'm sure you could argue that it's not all the same, but that's how I felt. You come here to northern Nha Trang, and it is so different to the center of Nha Trang. If you go south, it's extremely different. There's just so much more variety here, and it's incredibly underrated. So apartments in Nha Trang are severely cheaper than Da Nang. At the moment, Da Nang is experiencing a rental crisis, and over here in Nha Trang, especially northern Nha Trang that you can see behind me, you can get very cheap accommodation. We pay $275 at the building behind me for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. Try to find that anywhere in Da Nang right now. The nightlife. While I like the slow-paced pub lifestyle in Da Nang, I liked much more variety than that. If I wanted a good night out with a higher tempo bar or club, I just didn't find much of it that fit that criteria. In Nha Trang, I have the options to have a pint at a bar, to go out for a night of clubbing with like-minded partiers, or whatever I would like. There are so many great little English pubs, Russian pubs, and nightclubs. It helps that the service I found is generally much better in Nha Trang than Da Nang. Walkability is such a big factor to me, as I like to not have to weave around scooters all day long, consistently walk on the road no matter where I go. I found that the footpaths in Da Nang are too small and just filled with scooters. If the footpaths were as wide as the one down at the beach road, it would be fantastic. Nha Trang has wide footpaths pretty much everywhere except for the really local areas and back alleys. Majority of the time, I just feel more comfortable walking around in Nha Trang than in Da Nang. Grocery prices are insanely affordable, and many places don't charge any extra fees by using card. In Da Nang, I was consistently charged a 4% fee at Full Market, Lottie Market, Grab, etc. That money can add up very fast, and I'm also very happy with the location I chose, since there are many pre-made food options that are insanely affordable. If you want to see this full video of a grocery store tour, it's linked in the comments. Vietnamese food is very affordable here as well. While it's primarily seafood focused, you can still get a dish such as com tam for $1. If you prefer your Western options like myself, you can feel comfortable eating international food for cheaper than Da Nang. You can purchase a good burger and fries at a restaurant for $1.50, and the range of food options here is great with many cuisines that I couldn't find in Da Nang. Now, for clarification, you can certainly spend a lot more at touristy places in both cities, but I never choose to do so. So Nha Trang's beach is great because you can swim everywhere you like. The waves aren't too big, Occasionally they can be larger, but they're not the messy waves that you'd see in Da Nang. Da Nang has a very short shoreline, and the waves will keep crashing over and over again. And in Da Nang, they do not let you swim anywhere you'd like. You have to swim in these very small squares, here, wherever you'd like. Also, the beaches here just seem a lot more beautiful. There are plenty of islands in the distance to look at, as well as a very famous landmark, tourist landmark, which basically has an amusement park on an island, and you can get a cable car there. So Matsu, do you prefer Nha Trang's beach over Da Nang's?
For sure, because I'm not really good at swimming and I'm just learning how to do it. And in Da Nang, even though it was beautiful, I couldn't do anything because every 3 seconds I would be crushed and I would not be doing anything. So maximum I can do is to go maybe in a knee length, and that's it. You will need to walk miles and miles away to actually be in water. When here, it's really nice water. It's easy even for me from the beginner in the swimming, and I think it's so much better.
The other great thing about Nha Trang is you can snorkel here. Bodyboarding and surfing aren't very good, but personally, I don't do either of them, so it doesn't affect me. Now let's talk about the one thing that is still on everyone's mind. What do I think about living in a Russian community, and what are some of the challenges I face? Here is some backstory on myself. I don't speak Russian at all, so communication is non-existent for me in Russian. I've lived in Tbilisi, Georgia for 3 years. When the Ukraine war started, many Russians fled their country to Tbilisi, which made it become primarily a Russian city for a period of time. I then decided to leave Tbilisi to live in Budva, Montenegro, and no, not because of the Russians. Budva is essentially mini Russia. People mainly talk in Russian, and it's rather uncommon to see any other nationality but Russians. Now, what am I getting at? What I'm trying to tell you is that I've lived alongside of Russians for many, many years, and I've never had any issues with them. Some of the best people I've ever met are Russian. Can some of them be rude? Sure, but that's the same with every other nationality that I've come across. Russians also always find the best deals and can typically speak rather good English. The major challenge I have is the language barrier and nothing else. But that has already been a part of my life for so many years now, so it's normal to me. I'm a very convenience-focused person, and in northern Nha Trang, it's the most convenient place that I've ever lived in my life. It's a beautiful area with all the amenities you could want. With everything at your fingertips, you save so much time so you can focus on things that really matter to you, such as working or watching my YouTube content. But I know one thing you may be wondering. What does this neighborhood actually look like? Well, you can view this neighborhood on this video right here.